Now, let's look at metastatic disease in the lymph nodes. In our practice, this will be a big challenge in how to deal with metastatic disease in the lymph nodes. But before we get down to making diagnosis and description of lymphadenopathy secondary to primary malignancy in the head and neck region, let's try to understand the significance of a patient with lymphadenopathy. A patient with carcinoma of the tongue, the overall survival is 68% if there is no lymph node metastasis. Once a patient has lymph node metastasis, the survival drops by half. So it is a very, very bad prognostic indicator to have lymphadenopathy. And what is even worse, if you find lymph nodes on the contralateral side to the primary tumor, the prognosis drops by another half. So let's look at this patient with carcinoma of the tongue. He's got a contralateral lymph node. It means bad prognosis. Now, as lymph nodes begin to grow bigger and bigger, it breaks out through the capsule. Once it breaks out through the capsule, this term extracapsular spread is used. An extracapsular spread is very important because if you have extracapsular spread after surgery or treatment, the patient has a much higher chance of a local recurrence of tumor. It also predicts distant failure or distant metastasis, which I'll cover a bit later on. So we have talked about contralateral lymph nodes. If a patient has primary disease, in this patient with hypopharyngeal carcinoma, if the patient has contralateral lymph nodes like this, the prognosis is not so good. It has spread to the other side. And what is perhaps of great importance to the surgeon is when there is extracapsular spread, like this patient, all the lymph nodes have been enlarged and they are matted because they spread outside lymph nodes. And why this is of serious consequences because you can treat the secondary tumor in the lymph nodes as though they are primary disease. They have actually encircled the carotid sheath, and it's very difficult to dissect the tumor off the carotid sheath. So this patient will not be a surgical candidate. So metastatic lymph nodes can grow and damage normal structures and make surgery difficult, if not impossible, as in this particular patient with lymph nodes encasing and invading the carotid sheath. The surgeon will not operate.